All right, guys. Viewer discretion is advised because we are watching a body cam of some cops who hunt down and eradicate a mass shooter. So viewers' discretion is advised at this point.
I'm at BEH at UNLV. I'm at BEH at UNLV. Someone's shooting inside the office.
Hey. Go!
So the problem, if you've never been in like the concrete jungle, you know this. If a sound goes off, a sound will ricochet off of walls. And that's one of the hardest parts about police officers when they come into any sort of high-rise, high-building areas. It's harder to pinpoint where shots are coming from because of the echo. You can hear it directionally, but the closer you get to it, the louder it should be. So if you start getting closer to the sound or if you believe you're getting closer to the sound and it's more surround sound than anything rather than directional, as in you hear it from your left or from your right, it's because it's bouncing off of the walls around you.
Metro, please! Show your hand! Active shooter, love you.
I really want to
Damn. Good.
Only 10
Yeah, okay, that's smart. They destroyed the sound and the horns going off so that way they could listen better.
days before Christmas break, the thunder of gunfire annihilates the holiday cheer at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas.
It's always LA, man. Always one of these big metropolitan cities. Always.
As an army of law enforcement descends on the campus, they must fight through chaos and confusion to save lives and put an end to this terrifying madness. As the seconds tick by in this high-pressure mission, the officers find that evil comes in many forms.
Of course.
Kid to be like, oh, he got mental issues. Get out!
Here's the thing. Whenever it comes to stuff like this, people need to understand the difference between an excuse and an explanation. Him, her, whatever, having mental issues, that is an explanation, not an excuse. There's plenty of people who have mental issues that do not in any way, shape, or form react or do anything like this. Montecabello, I guess Las Vegas equals LA. Oh, I'm retarded. It's still, I meant these massive like metropolitan freaking heavily populated places. You know what I meant, damn it.
It's December 6, 2000.
Oh, what was that? Hold on. Disclaimer of liability. All information contained in this video is provided for entertainment purposes only. All right, it's basically his warning behind neon like Dallas, LA, New York, Las Vegas. Fuck you guys.
It's December 6, 2000.
I kick down doors. I don't know. I can read the topographical map, okay?
23. And students at UNLV are enjoying a typical day of university life, with perhaps nothing more urgent on their minds than the upcoming holiday break and the impending pressure of finals. If there's a
finals suck. I have one in December. Finals suck. But finals and midterms absolutely just ugh.
Dark cloud overhead, it doesn't seem that anyone at the school has noticed. Nor does it appear that anyone notices when a black 2007 Lexus pulls slowly onto the property and stakes out a parking space in front of Beam Hall, the epicenter of UNLV's prestigious Lee Business School. The man who gets out of the car is wearing a long black overcoat, but there's little else to distinguish him from any other faculty member on campus. As he retrieves some things from his car, he could be anyone. No one pays any.
Well, yeah, there's way too many people. There's no way anyone would be able to look at him and be like, he's probably going to shoot us up. Like, makes sense.
Attention as he walks.
I like videos like this, but it's like you're adding so much information that's just so completely obvious. Nobody notices a Lexus driving onto campus. Well, there's no reason to. It's not like it was spray painted, hey, mass shooter here, like, duh.
To the building. In front of the student union, life goes on as normal. But this day is about to change.
911 emergency, Hopkins
Hello?
2024. Do you need police, fire, or medical?
I need the police, please.
What's the address?
I'm at BEH, at UNLV. Someone's shooting inside the office. Please hurry.
Okay, all right, are you at UNLV?
Yes.
How long ago did you hear the shots?
They're happening right now.
How many shots have you heard?
Like 5. I'm hiding under my desk. I closed my door. It's locked.
From the time the initial 911 calls go through, it's only a matter of moments before police on campus respond to the scene. Indeed, the first sign of
Okay, guys, we're at one of those. I'm going to pause it here. I will be back in give me 3 minutes real quick, okay? All right, I'm back. Let's get back to it.
trouble from the plaza next door comes when a single university police officer runs in the direction of Beam Hall.
I heard them screaming.
Who did you hear screaming?
I don't know. I think they were on the right of me. I'm on the 4th floor.
Did you hear them say anything?
No, just screaming. I heard the shots four, and then I heard screaming.
Okay. Do you know if anybody's injured?
I don't know. I'm in my office. I closed the door.
Okay. What do you hear?
There's an alarm.
That was an alarm? Okay. Okay. Who else is in the office with you?
By myself. I really want to go home.
The woman's sentiment will be shared by everyone in Beam Hall as news of the shooter spreads. But even at a moment when many in the building would like to escape, others are bravely rushing to the scene.
Beam Hall! Second floor!
God damn.
The university police officer is the first one in the building, arriving only 78 seconds after the first 911 call.
Damn. Nice. That's good. Most of the time it takes a while, but I mean, there's two big factors here. One, on most campuses or universities, there's at least one or more. But yeah, he definitely made it there. Neon, I would need earplugs. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the fire alarm that's going off. Typically, it's in a pulse, but I mean, depending on the county, it will determine its decibels and its sequence.
Those reports are still pouring in, tasking dispatchers to gather vital details from traumatized and terrified callers.
It was on the 4th floor of the Lee School of Business at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas. I heard shots fired, and I heard screaming afterwards.
With calls reporting the shooter on multiple floors, the first police on the scene must be on high alert, knowing that the gunman could be literally anywhere.
Oof. Damn, and some people apparently just, you have to deal with people who know what's going on, and then you have to deal with people who don't, because you have, like, these people here just walking right out, probably not aware of anything that's going on right now, just not in a hurry to move, thinking that maybe it's probably just a drill or something.
Get out of my way! Close. I go open door. Open door.
I'll be clearing upstairs. What floors?
Let me see your hand! Hand! Let me see your hand! Hand!
The building is filled with students and faculty members, which will only make it that much harder to identify the shooter at a glance. But even as the first responding officers move carefully through the hallways, a massive police response is mobilizing.
Oh yeah, for a campus, absolutely. Thousands of people, hundreds to thousands of people, multiple stories high. You never know how many people are on there. I mean, look at the Parkland shooting. Most shootings happen with just 1 to 2 people, but you never know. You never know. It could end up being multiple people. And when you have such a huge campus, one person could start on one end, another person could start on the other. Like, you have to descend on it. And it's unfortunate that, schools are at sometimes resembling, sometimes are resembling battlefields because of this.
Sounds like an active shooter. Active shooter, love you.
Neon, I have tetanus bad, certain ranges and pitches. Oh, I feel bad, man. I get you. Growing up, we were taught all the drills were the real thing. Yep, exactly. Now they're having, unfortunately, 2024, they're having to build classrooms differently because of mass shooters, and now they're having mass shooter drills as well. Ooh. Someone got...
Active shooter, love you.
Dude. Was that a call to his wife? Hold on.
Active shooter, love you.
It was. Respect, man. I understand. A victim got shot in the head.
Officers from both the University Police Department and the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department are rushing to the campus, knowing that mere seconds could make the difference between life and death for so many innocent people.
Absolutely.
As the first cop car rolls up to Beam Hall, panicked students continue to pour out of the building. Moments later, even more police descend onto the intense scene. If the shooter is still in the building, he will soon be massively outgunned.
Nobody's transmitting.
One can only hope. Never forget that the Boston Marathon bombers had guns and bombs. Not only that, but it's not Parkland. I forget the 2 trench coats ones, but they started out with pipe bombs, and the only reason they weren't able to use them is because they weren't working.
It's gonna be this one upstairs. Set upstairs.
As more officers enter the building, those arriving on scene warn that their emergency response could make things worse if they aren't careful.
Yup.
715, we do have a lot of students running everywhere just for these units arriving. Watch your speed.
But it's clear that time is of the essence, not only in terms of stopping the violence, but also when it comes to...
One thing that they teach you in the Marine Corps, and I'm sure it is for any military service, is never move faster than you can shoot. What that means is if you're going to be running somewhere, if you're going to be going around a corner, if you're going to be whatever it is, never move faster than your reaction time. If you're pointing down and you're rounding a corner, by the time you start to pivot, it should be up. So by the time you complete your pivot, you are there and ready to fire and answer the call. Some people, training isn't that way. Some people don't have that built into them, and they round a corner and then they pull up. But the fact of the matter is, if you're rounding a corner and your gun isn't up, it could be lights out.
Rescuing victims. Two police
Absolutely, Neon. Slow is fast.
officers are approached by a man with a gunshot wound to the chest.
Oof.
Amazingly, he's on his feet, but the need for emergency medical care is unmistakable. The scene is not secured by EMTs, however, so the police do what they have to do to get the victim to an ambulance as quickly as possible.
And what they're meaning by that is, I think he worded it a little wrong. The scene isn't secure for EMTs to come out. Did he say isn't secured by EMTs? Hold on.
Medical care is unmistakable. Amazingly, he's on his feet, but the need for emergency medical care is unmistakable. The scene is not.
Yeah, the scene is not secured by EMTs. Well, EMTs would never secure a scene. The police would. What I think he meant to say is that the scene is not secure, therefore EMTs are not allowed on site. Typically, when something like this happens or there's a tragedy, they set up what's called triage area, where anybody who's hurt will go over there. It's the same thing in country as it is in the States. There's a triage will be set up. Typically, triage is back at the FOB. Even if you're in country, then you have to set it up somewhere, which will typically be within your own convoy. Anyways, in the civilian world, it's most likely a couple of miles or a part of the school. Sadly, I even have to talk about it like this, but it'll be a part of the school that's been completely cleared and locked down by officers. That's what he's meaning. The EMTs are not allowed on site until that area has been swept and cleared.
Secured.
Same thing with firefighters.
By EMTs, however, so the police do what they have to do to get the victim to an ambulance as quickly as possible.
Where's the victim?
I'm in the back right now. Keep going, keep going.
You can't drive like that with that open. Just take him out to Maryland.
But the injured man is only one of thousands of people on campus this morning, and police know that finding and neutralizing the shooter is their top priority.
Mm-hmm.
Put your hands up! Please show me your hands! Clear.
Room by room, floor by floor, closet by closet.
Show me your
And some people might turn around and go, oh, I can't believe they're pointing guns at innocent people. They don't know they're innocent. That's the bottom line. They don't know that they're innocent. Not until they're cleared. Not until they've been assessed and seen as not a threat. The cops are doing everything right, as far as we can see.
shooter? No? All right. Going on. I'm with you, go. Police, everybody in here, show yourself! Clear.
The fluid and immediate nature of the situation has arriving cops unsure about what to do.
Absolutely, Neon. The bottom line is everything is a threat until otherwise cleared. Absolutely, 100%. There, I don't care what anybody says. You know, it's just it is bottom line. You have to clear it and assess the threat and make sure that it's not one. So, anybody who wants to turn around and say these cops are wrong for pointing guns at kids, fuck you. That kid could end your kid's life, or end the police officer's life, or end an actual innocent person's life. Once you put a gun and a motive in a person's hand, I don't care about the age anymore.
Or where to go, putting them at a disadvantage when it comes to stopping, or for that matter, even identifying the shooter.
We're not standing by. Where is the shooter?
I don't know yet. They're
Okay.
up on the second floor.
Where was the person shot?
I don't know that.
Also, if you're hearing it only come in from like your left, so am I. That's the video. That's the body cam. It has nothing to do with me.
Yeah, either. I just got here. Let's go.
7:15. Yeah, we're going to need some additional units here. It's Beam, Baker, Easy, Adam, Mary Hall.
We need you with us.
I'm to your right.
God, those sirens, man. And that stairwell right there, man, that's prime target. I know you can't... Hold on. If you look over to the right over here, the right of over his gun, like that's a prime... Going up that stairwell, man, you are fish in a barrel. Completely exposed from anybody who's on the second floor, third floor, whatever it is. Like, no, and you can tell that they don't have anything more than just a regular tactical gear vest, not a bulletproof vest. And not even that. Some of them only have tactical belts.
Get out! Get out! Third floor. How'd you get up there?
There will be time later to process the events of this chaotic day and any mistakes that might be made in the heat of the moment.
Yep.
For now, police must do the best they can with the limited information they have, and frightened parents must do the same.
911 emergency, Newhouser, 1486.
Yes, hi. I'm calling because I received a text from my daughter from UNLV.
Okay.
Are you aware of what's going on?
Yeah, we are aware.
Okay. Is there any information you can give me?
I cannot give you any information at this time. We are just...
Okay.
We do...
That is an unfortunate situation for parents. Okay, like... Yes, parents are given a lot of leeway in these situations, and the fact of the way they act and the way that they treat police officers, it completely and utterly warranted in my personal opinion, because the leeway that they're given is warranted, not the way that they act. Because you can completely understand that they're not allowed to give you any information, but that doesn't quell your fears, that doesn't quell your worries, your concerns, nothing. And sometimes people just need to break down and be emotional. I mean, you never know, you never know if somebody's, when you're going to get that knock at the door. And I use that terminology here, but you just don't know. And it's the fear of not knowing that scares people, right? That's one of the reasons why people have a fear of the ocean. They don't know. They can't see that far, right?
We do have units on scene, and they are working it.
Okay. Okay.
Where is she at?
Well, let me ask her.
Yep. Tell me where she's at.
She's at UNLV.
Okay.
Let me see if she'll text me back. I'm sorry. I'm shaking.
No, you're fine.
This mom is holding it together. I'll give her that. Props to her, man. It's completely and utterly unfortunate that she has to, but she's holding it together.
It's fine. I understand.
What do you got? I got shot. One victim. One victim.
Officers inside Beam Hall are getting their first look at the devastation the shooter has caused, and it isn't long before news of the fatality spreads to the still arriving units.
Oh, that must have been the GSW to the head.
Another victim in room 406. GSW to the head. Oh, this is it.
Yup.
Let's go. 321 This is what I signed up for.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You get that call, and you go. That's it.
Go away to the suspect and take him out.
Hey.
Ooh.
Go, go, go!
Confusion is rampant both inside the building and out, and police must make their way to get students and staff to safety.
Do we see any shooters? We don't know how many shooters. That's crossfire, so just come all the way to us. Just come all the way to us. Hey, we can't leave them in here.
Yeah.
Come on. Let's go.
Yeah, they have to escort them out, because the problem is that while they might be secure at this very moment, you can't leave you can't leave somebody there. You can't leave a cop there and take them out of the fight in order to go ahead and protect these kids. These kids can then become hostages or victims in the future. So can the police officer. You're splitting resources that you just don't have. So it's best to just escort them off.
Calmly, let's go. And we're gonna evacuate. There's a group of kids in there. We're gonna evacuate.
Unfortunately, the officers know they cannot go fully into rescue mode because their deadly adversary could emerge from around any corner at any time.
He's still active. He's still active. Hey,
And they have a downfall of they don't know the layout. Like, if I remember correctly, he just said a resource officer or a campus officer. You only have one person who knows the complete layout there. With the only person who knows the complete layout there is with a gun and all that. And the rest of these officers probably have never walked this campus before. They have to clear it out line by line, row by row.
Metro Police! Hold on, we got a barricade here. Police! All right, stay here. Did you hear a gunshot? Did you see who the shooter was? Stay here. Stay here. Lock the door.
And that's another thing that they'll do too when they come across somebody is they'll tell them to shelter in place. If they're able to be behind a locked door, yes, a locked door doesn't stop a bullet, but it's a lot better than being in a door without a lock, you know? Get under the desk, lock the door, do what you can, because they can't just take off, like I said, they can't just take officers out of the search in order to try and get everybody off campus. And then on top of that, while you're directing these people, you then become almost a target, because if it's just you and five, let's say it's you and just one other civilian, and you start getting fired upon, you now have to return fire and protect that civilian at the same time. Whereas the shooter just has to shoot. He doesn't have to care about civilians or anything. And most of the time they're hoping to hit civilians.
Lock the door, okay?
But many of the doors in Beam Hall are already locked, which isn't always a good thing. Police discover a blood trail leading into just such a room.
Probably a victim.
Hey, careful! You're gonna be up there! Someone kick this door. That way. I need a boot!
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I will say what they should do in that situation is take that shotgun right there and put it right at the handle. Obviously, you don't know what's on the other side. Could be an innocent person, but if you're shooting it at an angle or shoot the hinges off like that, it'll make it a lot easier. Of course, you don't want to, damage the school, but at the same time, fuck it, bro. Fuck it.
Metro Police! Metro Police! Get in there!
Even with a veritable army of police officers using their might, the door proves too sturdy. One cop goes in search of some assistance, only to demonstrate how thick the tension is here in the opening minutes of this horrific event.
Hey, going? Watch where you go. Hey, give me a minute. Come here. I need breaching tools.
Stop. Hold on a second.
What do you want me to do? I'm getting breaching tools.
We need you with keys here, or give me your
I don't
keys.
have keys.
Who has keys?
The 3-star over there, right over there. She's got keys.
With so much about this appalling scene outside their control, one officer decides to at least do something about the maddening soundtrack. Meanwhile, police hit upon...
So what's probably going off right now is the fire system because someone most likely pulled a manual pull station, which triggered the fire alarm to go off, is what I would assume. Either that or maybe it was... Now, if it was a school holdup, it wouldn't do that. What they need to do is they need to get to the fire panel itself and silence the alarm. That way it can be turned off. Also known as the FACP. That way they could have turned it off without having to like break any of that. That would have been like the first thing that they should have done. Obviously, you can't. Hindsight's 2020, but absolutely, that's what they would have wanted to do.
A way to breach that unyielding door, even without specialty tools.
Shotgun.
Can we break through the wall?
That's a great specialty tool you got there. A shotgun will do it.
Hey, then you can kick the wall next to the doorknob. Go 6 inches off the edge of the door and kick through the wall. Yeah, there you go.
I don't have.
Clear it. Clear it.
Watch out. That side. Don't talk about that. Right wall on that side.
Right, and so be in front of my 17 to be on the sunset. Down. Left is clear. It looks clear.
There you go. Exactly.
The room turns out to be empty, just like the other many unknowns police must handle in this crisis.
Yup.
Indeed, even the unlocked rooms in Beam Hall are a nightmare of shadows, confusion, and hidden figures.
Police, anybody in here? Police, anybody in here? Hands up.
Neon, I tell you what, people forget the studs are spaced between 14 and 18 inches, and between those studs, it's empty. Yep, exactly. You can kick right through it with most drywall. Obviously, if this was a concrete building, it'd be very different. But luckily, it wasn't, and that was definitely smart thinking on that cop.
While the multiple responding agencies are doing their best to coordinate a unified response, the mere presence of this many cops with this much firepower means that even the slightest mistake could prove costly.
Damn.
The FBI is using shock lock against the door. That's the 434. Get forward.
It's a cop.
With the FBI,
Jeez.
the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police, and the
Too many chefs. That's what it is. Yeah, it's a lot of having your head on a swivel.
University Police all working in the same building, the threat of friendly fire is considerable.
Mm-hmm.
Blue! Okay, hold on. Wait up. Watch the depth. Look face up so they see you're a cop, please. Like, oh, seriously.
However, the difficulties of a multi-department response are only one aspect of the confusion in the air on this December day.
Adam 4, 223, and 735. Fire reports a shot fired to Student Union. They're moving up to the second floor.
Student Union now.
Copy.
Charlie 712, go to Student Union. Last report, second floor.
And that's the other thing too, is like I said, when it comes to the high-rise buildings, shots will ring out all over the place. Shots will be everywhere. People will be calling and saying, oh, it's coming from here, it's coming from there, without an actual distinctive notion of where it might be coming from.
Police respond to the building right next to Beam Hall, the Student Union, a new environment that will test their nerves as they investigate these shocking reports.
I got right. Look. Let me see your hands.
Come on. Keep your hands in there, bud.
We have a description?
No.
You see him? What do he look like? Go. Hey, you guys have...
Get out. Go that way.
There's people in their
Move.
hands.
Movement.
Let me see your hands. Let me see your hands. There's movement.
Hands. Does the police department come out with their hands up? Police department come out with their hands up. Let me see your hands.
Come on now.
Hands.
Okay, that's okay. We got to get you out, okay? We're going to get you out. Let's go.
Yep.
But the police on campus can't afford to focus solely on the innocent.
Mm-hmm.
The author of this grisly mayhem must be stopped. Unfortunately, news of the shooter's location and description is constantly evolving.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Everyone's going to have a different report. Everyone's going to see something different. I mean, these are flash moments that are clouded by adrenaline and fear.
Like 7 inches taller than me. He was a bit far though. And he was wider set.
He was a wider set. That's a funny way to say fat.
Heavy set, male, white, black, Hispanic.
He looked white to me.
Subjects on top of MPE, long hair and backpacks. 2 subjects on top of the roof of MPE with long hair and backpacks.
Did you hear that? MDE, is that behind us here? Behind me?
That's down there.
Second suspect is at 4972, and I said the Best Western, right? His wife works there. He said he was a suspect involved in this 458.
There are plenty of experienced officers on
suspects
campus,
now.
however, and not all of them are convinced by the startling chatter coming from the radio.
Yeah, so I heard on the radio they said that they had 2 subjects coming to DRI saying that they were robbed by like something like that by the suspect. But that's down there, Flamingo and Palos Verde.
Mm-hmm.
That's where we were at. Yeah. Yeah.
Indeed, while every incoming report must be treated as plausible, some of the cops on scene know the reality of the situation better than others.
Exactly.
Relax. 207 550K, we have 1 suspect down right in front of Frank and Estella.
I think at one point on the air, it came across that this building had activity, but I'm not.
That's going to be one of those echo calls.
Yeah.
You know, just like on October 1.
So I think that's why.
The Mandalay Bay shooting. Yeah, that's. If you guys haven't seen that video, that's an insane video. Not the shooting itself, but the police response.
It is inevitable that many of the police working at the UNLV campus will be reminded of the worst mass shooting in modern American history. The 2017 massacre that was launched from the Mandalay Bay Hotel only 3 miles away. On the other hand, some officers are experiencing something entirely new.
Sorry, this is day 1 for me. What's up, dog? So,
Go ahead.
welcome.
6530.
That university police officer isn't the only one facing unique trials on this dark day. Officer Cody Schmidt, who was the first one into the building, has had to strike a balance between duty and family.
My wife is in here. Hey, Terry. Hey, Terry. Text.
Yeah, you can join whenever you want, Ken.
If you haven't left campus, you need to do it right now.
But even these pressing concerns aren't enough to keep him out of the fight.
Hey, I got a sledge!
Of course not. Of course not. I mean, it's one of the reasons why people, like spouses, typically don't work in the same department or within the same unit, is because of conflict of interest.
I was the first one in there when the shots were going out.
Good? Okay.
I just need to find out where my wife was. I was eating lunch with her. I'm cut.
Officer Schmidt isn't the only one to get injured that day.
Hey, I'm getting it. You got it? Don't shoot me.
Don't shoot me. I get that.
Separated my shoulder.
Ooh. Dislocate or separated it. Ugh.
Gonna go with this officer right here. He's gonna take you outside.
Broken sternum.
Okay.
Oh, if you don't know where the sternum is, that's right here. That's this little part. It's the part of like the super white part on the chicken. If you've ever gotten a full chicken, it's not that hard to break. Typically, it breaks during CPR along with your ribs.
I have a broken sternum.
Oh, slow down. I'm so sorry.
As the officers reconvene, they know there have been victims, and some are beyond help.
How many was it? Did we see 4? 4 people down, yeah. But two of them were definitely fatal. They're just snow.
As some of the officers finally manage to turn off the alarm, There's still much work to be done.
That sucks in the middle of the class. Like on a PowerPoint, you have like the notes on the desk.
There's a lot. Cowards. Cowards.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Anyone who preys on the weak is a fucking coward.
I should be a kid and be like, oh, he got mental issues.
It's not. So it looks like it's a professor.
But it wasn't a student on the other end of the barrel this time.
That's even worse, man. If it was a professor, that's even worse. Your job is to teach and prepare these kids for the real world. Obviously, I don't know if it is or if it isn't, but Jesus, man.
Toledo's our suspect.
5 pounds in overcoat.
As a description of the suspect goes out over the air, perhaps a few officers are recalling an encounter they had only moments after entering the building.
Oh, that's exactly what, oh my gosh. Okay, when this part right here was playing, I was like, ah, man, see, this is what I mean by them having to, like, people treating it. Because remember when I paused it when those two people were coming out of the door and I saw this, I was like, ah, see, this is what I mean. Someone just walking by. And in the back of my mind, I was like, doesn't he kind of look like that guy? Ah, whatever. I've been pausing it way too much. But see, this is what I'm talking about. The distinction, the thought process in your mind. It's quick. It's instantaneous. And here, obviously, they don't have a description. I had a description because, you know, it focused on this figure. And I was so focused on watching the body cam and what was going on that this just slipped right through me, right past my thought.
The officer's failure to identify the shooter may be regrettable.
It's not a failure to identify. Let's not put it on them. They didn't know what he looked like. Come on, that's wrong.
Less than a minute later,
that's bad faith.
The unemployed professor confronted university police outside the front doors of Beam Hall and opened fire on one of them. It turned out to be the last thing he ever did.
We got the shooter. He's down. Come to me. Back up on me.
Yep, we're here.
The killing of the suspect was mercifully clean, but with bullets whizzing through the air, it's a small miracle that it went as well as it did.
We'll check it.
This guy just randomly just picked.
We'll figure it out later.
The shooter left more than carnage in his wake. He also left clues to his intentions. Police find 2 cards at the scene, each of them filled front and back with photos, names, staff titles, and room numbers. The names of 10 UNLV faculty members are found written on the cards,
or a hit list.
None of them were among Polito's actual victims. Police also learned that Polito's campaign of terror did not begin at the university that morning. Prior to entering Beam Hall with a handgun, Polito mailed 22 letters filled with hateful sentiments to academics he perceived to have wronged him in some way throughout his career. In one, Polito wrote to one of his former co-workers at East Carolina University, "You just a lazy, no talent, no brain, think you entitled scold." The professor, a Mensa member who were...
So it seems like bro got fired, probably lost tenure or something, and it just snapped. Because this is very Unabomber-esque, or reminds me of him. Because while he was sending off his bombs, he was doing the same thing with his old professors.
Referred to himself as Dr. 160 IQ in the letters, also included a mysterious white powder in the envelopes, a substance that police later determined was harmless.
Do we know if the guy was he was the guy in the front with his brains popping out? Yeah.
The description.
What's going on, man?
Yo, what up? How is everybody doing today?
Ken's joined up with me today, y'all.
You damn right. We are here in the building. Sorry, my wife is going to an event tonight that her best friend got her tickets for her birthday, so I had to, help her get all dolled up.
No worries, makes sense.
I just got to say, bro, my wife is fucking beautiful, and I love that woman so much. I'm sorry.
No, fantastic, man. You should always be singing your wife's praises, no matter what.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure you've been watching. Any thoughts on what we've been What's been going on so far?
So I haven't seen like the last like 15, 20 minutes because I had to like actively help her do a bunch of stuff and carry things up and downstairs. So, yeah. If I wanted to play it, I kind of
Yeah. Got a couple minutes here left.
Caused by law enforcement may be extensive, but it's trivial compared to the damage done by the killer. Anthony Polito's attack claimed the lives of 3 people. Che John Jerry Chang, 64, Nyoko Takamaru, 69, and Patricia Navarro Velez, 39. All 3 victims were UNLV professors. Polito left one gunshot victim alive but severely injured, a 38-year-old visiting professor whose life was likely saved by the quick thinking of police officers Jacob Noriega and Ty Vesperis. Both men were awarded by the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department Foundation for their extraordinary composure and bravery. Law enforcement analysts would later assess Polito as suffering from delusions of grandeur alongside an inferiority complex.
Sounds brave.
Pause it. How many fucking YouTubers suffer from that?
Yeah, superiority complex and an inferiority too.
And the delusions of grandeur, bro.
Yep. like they matter more than the videos they put up, which is insane.
It'll be the last call for DSP and Rich. They fucking come together and just fucking, going, on the last little hayride together, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I get you. Insane. It's crazy because it's like he didn't even target any of the people that were on his actual hit list, which just goes to show you that he didn't care. He was an equal opportunity offender. Doesn't give a shit.
Yep.
Psych.
100%.
He doesn't look, oh my gosh, he looks like a crash out, that's for sure. It's interesting that whenever you see the picture of the person who did it, they always look like somebody who would do it.
You know what's fucked up though? There's two people that are famous that you wouldn't think that. One's Ted Bundy, because if you just saw Ted Bundy in the streets, he looked like a cool dude. And the other one was John Wayne Gacy. I know that's probably a little controversial, but you just saw a picture of John Wayne Gacy.
Oh, he used to be a child entertainer, dude. He used to be a clown. That's like how he got his kids and all that.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he didn't look like a dude. You know what I mean? Like the rest of them.
Freaking like the first guy you said, the people were saying he was too attractive to be a killer. And it was women who were, Ted Bundy. Women were saying he was too attractive to be a killer.
Yeah.
Crazy.
But like fucking like Charles Manson, bro, that motherfucker, 100%. You can just look at him. And then, and then you got a BTK, that dude.
Unabomber.
Yep. And then
Green
you had
River.
Theodore Kaczynski, I think.
Yeah, the Kaczynski. Yep. You got the Green River Killer. Yeah, all of them, man. All of them look exactly as you would expect.
Exactly.
And it's the ones that don't fit the mold that are the most dangerous, because you're looking for somebody who would look that way, which is what made Ted Bundy so prolific, is because he didn't look like that. He didn't look like a psychopath, and he was able to use his looks and his charm to get women. And even if you look at Jeffrey Dahmer, I mean, because he wasn't attacking girls, he was attacking guys during the freaking the heyday of crack cocaine and being gay.
Yeah, exactly. And that's I was gonna say on Ted Bundy, he was a very charismatic person, and he could make anybody laugh. He could get along with anybody and all that shit. But yeah, deep down, that motherfucker was demented, bro.
Well, yeah, he was able to still continue killing while people were looking for him. Like he was stopped multiple times by police officers. He even escaped police custody at one point too.
Twice.
Yeah, like that's the crazy thing. Now the Unabomber 100% looks like what his name was, but I will say this: dude was dastardly and devastatingly intelligent.
Yeah,
like crazily intelligent. I don't know if you've seen the Netflix documentary where he actually talks about like how he was able to get away with it for so long, but yeah, he like would put he had the report, like the FBI put out a report that he was blonde. So what he did is he just went and got wigs made of real people's hair and started putting blonde hair in his explosives to keep that lie going. Yeah,
Dude,
he freaking smart man in the worst way possible.
So I think his name is Eric Rudolph, right? And he was like one of those like mountain dudes. Like he just stayed in the mountains, and he knew them like the back of his fucking hand. That's why he didn't get caught. And it took a woman, bro, a woman that he scorned, turned his ass in.
His brother's wife. Yep.
Yeah. So it's just like, what the fuck, man? Like, you know.
Well, not only that, but like what he did is he made sure to like he would go into town, and what he would do is he would go into town, buy up a bunch of supplies, then go into the woods, and basically so that way the people within that town, within that area, that county would know, like they would associate that with him going camping in the woods. So while all the bombing was going on, and nobody would suspect him because they're like, well, he's in the woods. And then once he sent off his bombs and all that, he stayed in the woods and didn't shower or anything. So the next time he came back to civilization within his town, he was growing out a full beard. He smelled terrible. Like he played the part. And yeah,
fucking modern day Grizzly Adams, bro.
Exactly. Yeah. Again, in the worst way possible.
Exactly. Yeah.
Was arrived at in part due to Polito's personal website, which was filled with positive reviews of his classes from students, his own work supposedly deciphering a letter from the Zodiac Killer, and links to subjects he found fascinating, including the 2001 anthrax.
Yeah, and that's the crazy thing. Yeah, a lot of people, a lot of you guys might not know about this, but like I think it was a week or two, maybe within the month of September 11th happening, there was anthrax in the mail that was sent off to multiple different places that never hit the news because, again, it was the Twin Towers went down. So
and a lot of people thought that it was, I guess, Al Qaeda or like Bin Laden that was doing it, but it was actually domestic terrorism that was doing it. So they were able to get away with it for so long because they were going down the wrong rabbit hole.
Yep, exactly.
I hate to say this, but if you're going to do something like that, you know, that was the best time to do it. Like, I really hate to say that, but
during the confusion. Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly.
I mean, it's the same reason why, like, during any massive outbreak or during COVID or anything like that, like a lot of hate crimes happened and a lot of things were going on because everybody was scrambling to figure out what was happening in the world. Disaster will breed even more disaster.
Yep, and that's when the PDF files and all that'll fucking come out and cocksuckers.
Because no one's looking for those minimal crimes, and it sucks to say, like, you know, sexually assaulting somebody is a minimal crime, but compared to hundreds of thousands of people dying, or you know, America being under attack or anything like that, it is seen as a minimal crime compared to terrorism.
Straight up. And it is what it is at that point. I'll tell you this, bro. I always thought about writing Son of Sam because he's still alive. And I think he's like in like somewhere in New York, if I'm right, like their maximum security prison in New York. I thought about writing him up, and my wife was like, if I see a letter from Son of Sam in the mail, I'm literally leaving you. I will leave you. I'm like, come on, man.
Makes sense. Did you know that, have you heard the theory that Son of Sam is not a person, but a cult?
Yeah.
Yeah, that there was more. Yeah, that's what I was. Bro, that's what I'm bringing up. Like,
so fucking good, man.
It's crazy and here's the thing, right? It's like the fact of the matter is that back in the day, it's 70s, 80s, 90s, like technology is nowhere near where it is now. Like there's people who are still, the fact that there's no identification as to who the Zodiac Killer is after so many years, so much money, so much investigation, whether it be our government investigating it or private investors, the fact that it's not known who that person is with any hard evidence, everything is circumstantial, is insane. And we're just talking about a 20-year difference, you know, between when it happened and now.
Oh, I mean, well, even 10 years, dude.
Yeah, even 10 years, yeah.
If you look at like, because I'm gonna show my age and my boomerism a little bit when I say this. Sometimes I'll go on YouTube and look at like 90s nostalgic cartoons or whatever, or like commercials and all. I was born in '86. I'm 38. Right. So watching that shit is kind of like just, just a little glimpse back in time. You know what I mean? So just seeing how far we've come, even like since the 90s to like 2010s, dude, how far we've come. It's insane.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, we went from going to war with pea shooters into now having lasers and shit and drones, and now we even
Force.
Space Force, and now we even have like Elon Musk building robots in Japan and all that, so
Oh yeah, it's fucking wild.
yeah, we're not too far away from having, mechanical exoskeletons and stuff like that, and legitimate robots fight. Not, I'm not talking Terminator status here, but like, freaking a drone army. We have our UAVs and different drones that can drop bombs from hundreds of thousands of miles away, so
Bro,
it's like,
I'll tell you what's fucked up. So me and my wife were watching TV and a commercial came on, and it was for Megan Fox's new movie. Where she's like an android, because they have like real life androids, and like I guess the dude, because it's a dude and like a daughter, and like he got an android because I guess like the wife died or wife left him. I don't know. I couldn't grasp that story, but anyways. He literally falls in love with the android, Megan Fox, and like she is learning, so she goes along with it. So they do their thing, and then he tells her like, "Look, this is weird. We have to stop. Like whatever." He meets other women, and like the android is like killing the real women because the android thinks it's in love with him.
Right. Yep.
Like,
yep.
I'm like, bro, I looked at her and I'm like, what the fuck is the world coming to? Like, this could literally happen. Like 100 years from now, that shit could literally happen. And
it's not too long.
It's a sad day, man.
Yeah. I mean, there's also the movie Mother, I think is what it's called, where it's a dystopian America where like symbiotic humanoid people have taken over outside, and somebody actually comes in, and the girl who grew up with like a symbiotic robot, it has to decide whether or not that person is now a danger because she was unaware of the outside world. So there's a lot. There's also like Mr. Robot and all this other stuff, but you never know where the world will be in another 20 years. That's for sure.
Bro, who you telling? One last thing I'll say before we move on. There was that PS5 game that came out when the PS5 first hit about like androids. I forgot the name of it, but I played that shit, and it's like the androids uprose against like human beings, and it was like an android versus human war, like in like the Detroit.
Detroit. Yeah, Detroit Become Human.
That was a wild fucking game, bro.
Yeah. I mean, iRobot's another one where they become sentient and detached from the laws of robotics.
Yep.
Letters. Polito was solely responsible for the rampage that day. Many of the confusing calls reporting multiple suspects proved to be untrue or unrelated. Authorities said that Polito was financially struggling in the days leading up to the shooting. They found a document similar to a last will and testament at his house in Henderson. They also found an eviction notice taped to his front door.
There you
go.
Yeah, it sounds like he ran out of it all and just had a psychiatric break, which again, that's an explanation, not an excuse.
Recently lost his adjunct professorship at
and that's exactly what I said not too long ago. He probably lost his tenure, and that's exactly what happened.
Roseman University.
Yeah.
So I've said it right. I worked for Best Buy 8.5 years, and I went from fucking the dude in the yellow shirt at the front door. I went from that to inventory, like warehouse. I went from there to like appliance install and delivery. I went from there to home theater install and delivery. Then I was a operations lead for the delivery pad for like the metro area. From there, I went to fucking a 3PL AM manager that was like the liaison between third party labor and Best Buy. And then from there, I went to fucking repair, right? So I went through all this shit. And for Rich to get fired, bro, 30 days, like, I'm sorry. Like, that's just wild to me. I just want to put that out there because we were talking about it before.
Right.
The real way to get fired outside of like harassment and racism and, touching, right? Like, that's obviously you'll get fired.
Right.
But like, as far as like job performance, bro, they do their best to work with everybody. Like, I've seen some dumbasses, bro, like
Oh yeah,
dumbasses
man.
like make it. And I'm like, how the fuck did he get fired? I know
It's
that's
kind of like getting fired from AutoZone or O'Reilly's or something. It's like, you know, you don't have to know a thing about cars to work there.
yeah.
Like-
all you gotta know is how to use a computer, bro. Search part numbers. That's it.
Exactly. It's not that hard. All right, let's wrap this up.
Yep.
Polito had recently lost his adjunct professorship at Roseman University of Health Sciences in nearby Henderson, Nevada. Authorities confirmed that he applied to many institutions of higher education throughout the state and was met with only rejections, including 4 from UNLV.
And that I guarantee you that has absolutely everything to do with his age. Because if he was let go from higher education, as in like another university or something, at his age, like he probably, that people aren't going to want somebody that old to start their tenureship over again. They're going to want to bring, they're going to want to bring somebody who's right out of college, who just got their teaching degree, give them the 10 years and then get them into it and have them be like an alumni slash, not an alumni, but a like what do they call it? Like a forever teacher, basically. Because at his age, 20 years, he could be gone. And then they're gonna, and you know, RIP, he is now, but like he could die in 10, 15 years. That you know, then they're gonna have to find somebody who's as qualified as him, whatever. So it's makes sense. And this is what I was talking about with Rich, bro. You're like 45, 50, almost 50, 45 to 50 years old, been out of the workforce for 10 to 15 years. You have zero skills to go back into the workforce with, you know?
We'll see like, it's just like anywhere, right? Like as far as like pensions, retirement, there's minimum or like maximum ages that you can start.
Right.
Like especially like I learned that when I went from active duty into the into like the guard or whatever. Literally they were like, we don't take anybody that's over the age, I think at the time was like 35. Because if you do 20 years, that's 55. You know what I mean? So yeah, they're like, because those people that were trying to join that were just trying to get like just to start over, and they were old, and they were like, I'm sorry, you can't.
Yeah, it's the same thing with the Marines. The Marine cutout date is you have to be shipping to boot camp before your 29th birthday.
Oh, well, there you go. So
because 20 years, that's 50 years old.
Yep. I think active duty was different. I think active duty, the oldest you could be, I think was 29 or 30. I think it was the same thing for active duty.
Yeah, active duty is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Tragic as Polito's actions were on December 6th, he may have had even more terrifying ambitions. The intense law enforcement response may have saved more lives than we will ever know.
Absolutely true. I mean, it's crazy. And you have to think about it like this. I mean, this guy, you know, I don't want to be talking numbers of slain kids here. I mean, at least he didn't shoot kids. Like it seems like all of the people he shot were adults, and that's not like putting one life above another here. But like if we look at like the Parkland shooting, if we look at like the Tallahassee and Uvalde, like these were kids who were doing this, and they stacked up numbers. You know, they put like almost double digits out there, and it's crazy. It's unfortunate, and it should never be happening. Of course, you know, you can't control someone's mental psyche and all that. But this guy, it seemed like he was targeting the people who were staff there just simply because he wasn't, you know, he got rejected. Which, I mean, you can look at and be like, that's not good. And you're right, it's not good. But kids, especially on a campus, are fish in a barrel. Like as soon as something happens, they're all running out. Staff is the one that's supposed to remain and get the kids out. They are the harder targets because they are directing the flow of traffic, whereas the kids are running out the door. It doesn't take much to just pull a fire alarm and just sit and wait. So it's it could have been worse.
Well, the other thing too, as far as like, you know, kids, students, you know, I'm gonna say students, right? Because hopefully you're not in like elementary and fucking middle school.
Right.
That's a bitch move. But like not 9 times out of 10, bro, they got their headphones in, they're fucking looking at their phone, walking, they're not paying the fuck attention because they have no situational awareness. Literally,
Right.
bro, you could drop into the courtyard and just fucking unload.
And
You know
and
what I
that's what I'm
mean?
saying. I don't know if you've seen the Parkland body cam footage, because I did watch the trial from start to finish. I don't think it was, hold on, was it Parkland? I forget. I think it was Parkland, because I watched the trial of the resource officer, Scott Peterson, not the one that allegedly killed his wife.
Yeah.
But I watched that trial because they were trying to blame him for the deaths of the kids, for not actively moving as he should. Regardless on how you believe on whether he was guilty or not, he was proven not guilty. I'm not going to say innocent, because courts don't prove you innocent; they just prove that you're not guilty. But if you watch the body cam footage, dude, there's like blood dripping down the stairwell. They get up and there's bodies in the hallway. Like there's blood down the hallway. Like it was a straight up, fish in a barrel situation. And that literally what you were describing is what happened, because like a lot of the kids who were shot got shot because they thought it was just a routine fire drill and they had their headphones in. People didn't even know that like he was on their floor shooting while like down the hallway, in the hallway, while he was shooting through the hallway, because it's crazy.
And like where I went to my to get my bachelor's degree, dude, it was not in a great part of the area. So I mean, there'd be days where I'd fucking be walking to class and I'd hear fucking gunshots in the distance, and obviously I'd look around, but I would just keep fucking moving, and people just ignored it like they were used to it. But that's the thing, man. Like I'm sure you heard a whole like a head on a swivel type shit, right?
Right.
And
always.
whenever. Yep. And, whenever shit went down, I'm not saying I'm like a fucking, guns expert, but by listening, you could tell about how far away it is, the caliber it is, all that shit. So, you're able to like time your shit, find the nearest like safe point or whatever. So, people become immune to that shit, especially when they just not paying attention. So anyone can just roll up and they're not going to pay any attention to it, and they could be a victim themselves. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Well, and it's not just that too. It's people will become complacent, like this just happens all the time, and they'll be numb to it and stop caring about it. And that's the wrong way to be, because once you start doing that, you become a sheep to the slaughter.
Yep.
You're no longer worried about it.
Hell yeah. Do you got anything else to go over? I know I'm coming in kind of late.
Yeah. I was gonna,
all right, cool.
Because we have the original archived video of Just a Robot's actual response, or his defense for Cine Bear. I figured, hey, we just covered some RTU drama. We've covered that Just a Robot drama. Might as well see where it all started from, so people can see just like the how absolutely trash it was. But let me.
Yeah, I'll say while you're going, I'm gonna talk while you're doing all that. So